Hi everyone, it's John. A few days ago, Peg over at the History Shelf tagged me in a video called the Booktuber Favorites Tag. And it's all about people that you watch and are generally sort of drawn to in the greater booktube community. 9 questions, and of course, at the end, you tag whoever you want to. And for once, I will actually promise to tag some people at the end instead of just saying whoever wants to do it. But I'll just jump right in. Number 1, a booktuber you've watched the longest. It's funny because so many of the people that I watch now have only been around for maybe at the most 2 or 3 years. But if you go back and you look at my first video, you'll see that I've been here for quite a while. I'm into my 9th year now. Now, I haven't been posting for that entire time. I took about a 3-year hiatus between 2015 and 2018. But one of the people that was around when I was first posting videos, her name was Rebecca Oppenheimer. And it's one word, Rebecca Oppenheimer. All she did with her channel was post huge book hauls and huge film hauls. Big cinephile, but mostly book hauls. She lived, as of the time of her last video, she no longer maintains her channel, but she recorded her last video sometime in late 2013, I think, and she was living in Baltimore, Maryland, and she was working at a bookstore in the city. And she would go to this store in Baltimore the first weekend of every month, I think. And it was called The Book Thing. And The Book Thing is a gigantic, I don't know if you can call it a store, because the interesting thing about The Book Thing is that you could go in and everything there, every single book in the entire place, was free. So there's no such thing as really stealing books. You can go in, take what you want. Also, if you have things that you were going to sort of put in a tiny cornerside community library or donate, you can just leave them behind. You can leave them wherever they belong on the shelf or with the staff or whatever. Unfortunately, a few years ago, I think the bookstore had some major fire damage to it. But when I went there myself in 2013, I didn't get a chance to go with Rebecca, but she did wonderful hauls there. She's done us all the favor of leaving them up, and there are dozens of them, dozens. So if you're not necessarily opposed to watching book hauls that have sort of been posted up for a while, but she reads everything, every single kind of genre, classic fiction, history, you name it. So she reads a lot of stuff I, quite frankly, have no interest in, but she reads enough of the stuff I'm interested in to keep me watching her videos. No one ever really mentions her channel anymore because she's been gone for so long, but really, really a fascinating person to maybe subscribe to so she can just be on your list of people to go back and watch every once in a while in case you don't have new videos to watch. Number 2, a booktuber you just started watching. I'll list 2. Tom from Tom LA Books, who has recently started, is 3 videos into a 100 video long series on Dante's Commedia Divina, and is doing a fabulous job. Is doing 15-20 minute in-depth readings and interpretations of each canto of the poem. Fabulous. If you're interested in not only that poem, but Italian literature more generally, it seems like Tom is only maybe 6 or 8 videos into his channel, maybe 10 or something. Certainly needs more subscribers, and looks like he's going to be devoted mostly to Italian lit, which is something that outside of Dante and Italo Calvino and a few other names, it's going to be nice to have a channel completely devoted to a national literature. So that'll be fascinating to see where it goes. And the other one is Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats. I haven't seen too many of her videos yet because I literally just subscribed to her, I think, a few days ago. But I woke up this morning and saw that there were 1 or 2 waiting for me. So as soon as I post this video, I will go and watch those. Number 3, a booktuber you became friends with. Peg from the History Shelf. I think Peg has kept me largely sane in 2020. We've exchanged thousands of Voxer messages, thousands of Twitter DMs, kept each other entertained by chatting over Messenger during work on countless days, and it's just been wonderful. The book recommendations are great. The friendship is even better. Number 4. A booktuber you get most of your book recommendations from. And Peg, simply because of the fact that there's a fat dove perched outside. I get a lot from Peg simply because of how much we talk and how much our talk is centered around books themselves. But I'll mention another channel that I don't think gets mentioned too often. Peg did, though, and it's Andrew B. Andrew B., Peg, and I might be the only people that have regularly talked about the Liberty Fund on Booktube. I have certainly tried to find other people who regularly mention it, or who have talked about what they're trying to do, and I haven't been too lucky. But Andrew B., whether it's Liberty Fund or another a book that they don't publish, is fascinating to listen to, and always walk away having learned something, even if you're familiar with the ideas or the text that he's talking about. Number 5. A booktuber you watch who reads a genre you don't. Well, this might be the easiest and the hardest question of them all, because pretty much every booktuber I could name reads a genre I don't, because I read so narrowly. I would say if you read anything other than literary fiction, literary criticism, religion, philosophy, politics, and social sciences, if you read anything outside of that, which includes basically all of genre fiction, right, which is the most popular thing by far in YouTube, if you read anything outside of that, then you read a genre I don't. So, too many people to name. Number 6. A booktuber whose videos make you happy. I will mention Booktube's Earth Mother, Hannah's Books, who just has this wonderful sort of presence on the camera. Her ASMR voice is just like pure butter. She's wise, she's interesting, she's funny, she's charming, and it all shows up when you see her on screen. It's actually absolutely wonderful just to listen and hear her and see her speak. She's really one of the best discoveries I've made this year in Booktube. I think she started last year, but I think I found her in 2020. Number 7, a booktuber you'd love to do a buddy read with. This is another booktuber I found very, very recently, and I just left a comment on her channel because I think I discovered her when Peg mentioned her too. And her name is Erica Priestley, or possibly Presley. It's Priestley. She has a few book hauls on her channel where she reads some nonfiction, kind of along the lines of the same stuff I read, which I know is sort of a bit of a niche area in BookTube. So I subscribed immediately and look forward to more books and more book discussions from her. Number 8, a booktuber with under 1,000 subscribers that you love. I'll name a few. I just went down my subscription list and just named the ones that immediately popped out at me. Kim from Middle of the Book March. Kim, I think, reminds us all that we need to stop feeling guilty about buying books, about, we need to stop feeling guilty about obsessing over them or just really enjoy them, because that's what they're there for. I love how, she doesn't get bogged down in the whole numbers game or feeling guilty about this or that. She just is here to read and talk about it and, make friends along the way, and it's a great, refreshing sort of attitude. She also has read at least, she recently finished Daniel Deronda and read recently Middlemarch. And she has become kind of obsessed with George Eliot. And I think outside of Middlemarch, George Eliot doesn't get nearly enough attention on BookTube. And I look forward to being able to chat with another George Eliot fangirl. Taking Tea with Catherine. Always introducing me to new teas. Even though I'm not a big loose leaf tea person, I'm always curious to see what she's drinking and talking about. Courtney Ferriter, America's Jewish Mother. Love her because she, I saw a collection of, part of her bookshelf was dedicated to American pragmatism. Dewey, William James, Richard Rorty, people like that. And that's one of my fascinations, even though I don't talk about it too much on the channel. So I subscribe to her and have loved listening to her book discussions. Todd's Bursting Bookcase. He doesn't post too frequently, but when he does, they're usually book hauls or him straightening his bookshelves, or I think one of the last few was pulling books out, sort of decluttering some of his collection. Sean D. Standfast, who's taking a break, but I have my fingers crossed we'll be back soon in 2021. Ami 1649, or Ivan's Nightmare, posts really sort of fascinating, thoughtful videos about whatever has struck him recently. Whether it's, I think the Ivan in Ivan's Nightmare refers to the brothers Karamazov. I think. If I'm wrong, you can correct me about that. But he loves Borges, he loves Moby Dick, and we'll just post video discussions about themes or authors or a poem or whatever else strikes him. And lastly, I want to mention another booktuber who hasn't posted in a number of months, but just has this really warm, outgoing, bubbly personality, and her name is Reader Woman. Again, one word. Readerwoman. Number 9. A booktuber with over 1,000 subscribers that you love. I'll just mention a few. And again, I'm not mentioning the ones I've mentioned in 1 through 7. Those go without saying, so I won't repeat them. But Johnny Keene mentions a lot of stuff. If you want to hear about Johnny Keene's library, you can go listen to to Pegg's video. It's quite a formidable piece of architecture. David at Live Forever Die Trying, or Die Trying, he's interested in, I don't think he's ever used the word on his channel, but what I would consider transhumanism, living much, much longer than our natural lives have heretofore let us live. And reads in other things, but that seems to be one of his biggest interests so far. Possibly the youngest booktuber I watch too. Two more. The Pearl Review, who posted a video a couple of weeks ago on why we should all read Thomas Mann's The Magic Mountain. And another video, another booktuber that I never really see mentioned, possibly because he doesn't really talk about books so much as he talks about literary themes, and he sort of narrates these nicely done videos. His name is Bookworm History. Again, one word. I'm not going to list all of these channels in the drop-down box because it is quite a task to I've mentioned probably 24 people, and I don't want to track down each and every one of their handles. I can, if you want me to, let me know. I'd be glad to go back and change that, but it might take me a few minutes. And I think hopefully almost everyone I've mentioned is well known or on the way to being better known in our little circle of who you're most drawn to. So hopefully we know most of the people I'm talking about. Number 10, who do you tag? I'll tag two people. Tom from LA Books, and I have mentioned, or I have seen, Kathy from the Grimm Reader mention that she doesn't get the opportunity to do the book tags that she sometimes wants to do. So I will tag Kathy Grimm, Professor Kathy Grimm. And I would love to hear both of their opinions on these 9 questions. And 18 minutes. Okay, that's a little bit better than I thought. I will wrap this up, and I will see everyone in a few days. Have a happy holiday. Bye.